Hello, hello, and welcome to Mindfulness Monday. Thank y'all for tuning in. As always, you have to find a way to tune out from all of the distractions and tune in to whatever it is that you're doing. Today's session is about the journey or the path. Let's see. Bear with me. I want to make sure you all can see what I'm writing as I share this demonstration. So again, I just wanted to talk briefly about the path or the journey. I'll be adding a video later today, just discussing a conversation that I had over the weekend. The conversation was mainly about religion, spirituality, and who is God, what is the universe, and different things to that effect. But I just wanted to bring the conversation to you all because it's all about the path, right? A lot of times we judge people or misjudge people based on what that path looks like, but I just want to give a little demonstration of how the path really goes. So stay tuned in with me. Let's just say the journey is, or let's just say you're trying to figure out what the journey needs to be in your personal life. And let's just say that the goal that you're wanting to reach in your personal life is, we're going to just put it right here. I'm going to title that fulfillment. Is it 1 L or 2? We're going to go with 2. That can also be, let's put joy. We're going to also put peace. To have the expectation that in order to reach peace, fulfillment, or joy, that it's a straight line and that it just goes from here to here. It's honestly unacceptable because that's an untrue statement. So let's just say this is the road to get to this place. This is the road to get to peace, fulfillment, and joy, right? But again, in my understanding, there are multiple ways that you can get to the same place. So let's just say one person took a car, so they're on the road. Let's just say one person decided to take a airplane. Is that an airplane? Another person work with me. How do you draw a bus? That's my bus. And another person may take a train, right? Let's say this is the train. Well, these are the tracks. I don't know how to draw no train, y'all. So just rock with me. This is my train. We're all headed to the same place. Somebody may actually even walk. Is it fair for me to judge the person that's walking to this path of peace, fulfillment, or joy because I had the means to fly? Is it fair for me to judge the person's path to this place because I'm on a bus and it's going to take a little longer? Is it fair to judge anybody because I have a car and I can actually probably get there quicker than this person? Or is it fair for me to say because you're taking a train that the way that you got here is not the right way? Stay with me. Because the goal is there are so many different ways for us to reach the same destination, right? Another example. Because again, the topic of today's Mindfulness Monday is all about the path or the journey. We don't really talk about that, but we often judge people on how they got to where they're at. Cleaning my board, give me a moment. I think that's good enough. Let's just say, again, the destination is self-discovery itself, which means, who am I? And you're trying to get to this place and figuring it out. Now again, the misconception is that it's going to be a straight line in order to get you there, when in actuality, life has a tendency to go like this. Now along this path, it can be pain. It can also be moments of peace. It can be isolation. It can also be a little trauma, because it will get hard. It may also discover and go through different types of relationships. You may experience a little fear. You may also experience worry. You may have moments where you experience happiness. You may experience grief because you are grieving the parts of yourself that are no longer you. We're going to add a little bit more positive words to this because the journey can be beautiful. You may experience love. You may experience joy. You may feel excitement. You may feel loneliness. Ooh, how do you spell loneliness? You may feel all of these different types of experiences on your path towards self-discovery, or another word could be enlightenment, right? This journey is not a straight line. You may start in pain, then you may hit peace, then you may go to isolation, then you may hit grief, then you may hit joy, then you may hit loneliness. You may go back to isolation, back to pain, back to happiness, experience some trauma, feel fear. Then I'm excited because now I get it. Oh, but I'm worried because I'm not sure. And while I'm in the midst of this journey, I'm experiencing so many different types of relationships. But I found love, right? Because that's what you'll experience on the path to self-discovery. Now look how messy it is. It's a mess. But there are so many different ways that you can get to the same destination, because it's about the path or the journey. Now let's just say, or just work with me and imagine that all of these lines and the way that I took us to get there is not the route that resonates with where you are. And it's gonna be messy. So don't expect for it to look pretty. Don't expect for it to be perfect. So let's just say you started in a place of happiness. This is your starting point. From happiness, you experience love, you experience excitement, but then fear rushed in, which led to pain, which through your pain, you found a place of peace and realized you needed isolation, so you felt lonely. Experiencing those different types of relationships, you hit grief because you lost, you loved and you lost, which led you to a space of joy, which also felt traumatic because you did have to experience all of this. And it brought you to the path of discovering who you are. Again, there are so many different ways you can get to the same destination. So how dare you look at somebody who's in a season or a space of love and also feel like they don't have anything else that they've been going through. It's not your job to judge their journey. And that's why I speak and preach so much about minding thine own business, because we're so quick to speak on what other people should do, but you don't know what they've been through. So as we are practicing the art of minding thine own business, I'm going to erase this because life gives us chances and opportunities to take a pause and to begin again. So as I'm cleaning up this mess, which can metaphorically be you cleaning up your life, you get the opportunity to wipe this slate clean and paint a new picture. Let me see if I can clean this a little better, because I do have a few more examples I like to go through. But in the midst of life's journeys, we all have the opportunity to take a pause. So right now I'm going to use this as a pause. So if you're present, take this moment to just tune in and listen to the tunes, and I'll be right back momentarily. Okay, I am back, and I am going to go into the next thing, which will be a happy and successful relationship. So we're going to put it right here. That is not how you spell. It's good. All right. Again, we think that it's a straight line. You may experience love, bliss. You may run into unmet or unrealistic expectations. You may run into fear. You may run into happiness. Doubt. Trust. Let's see. You may be in a love bubble. Now again, you may start at your love bubble. Then you may doubt, questioning the decisions that you made, or you may feel happy from there. Then you may experience love, and then you may realize the expectations that you had are beginning to be unmet, which may lead to fear, trust issues, back into moments of happiness, back into a love bubble, back to bliss, love. You understand? There is not one way that you can go on this path to get to that same destination that we all may have. So because a person is experiencing different things and their stories may look differently than yours, does not make your story more or less valid. And it is not up to you to validate what their truths are based on what your experiences are. We got to get us some business. And we also get to decide what that path is going to look like, only to a certain extent, because the other half of it is life's going to happen. Life going to happen. All right? Even when it comes to, let's just say parenting, for example. It is not a straight line. There is not a book handed off that teaches you how to parent. You may include your own childhood experiences that may mold you. Because most times either we'll do the exact same as we were raised, or we may do the exact opposite. There's a lot of factors in that, based on whether or not you had a happy or healthy childhood, whether you feel like the way that you were raised is how you want to raise your kids, or because you were raised that way, you choose to do something differently. All of these factors are a part of that journey, or the path to get there. Some people may try to relive their childhood. I can't spell today. through their children. Which may lead to some resistance with the relationship that you're building with your child, which may lead to resistance, or excuse me, did I say resistance or resentment the first time? Whatever it is, sometimes when you are trying to make your child do the things that you wish that you would have done because you didn't get a chance to, or because you did, it can mold that relationship that you have with your child. A lot of us, or a lot of people or parents, are in the process of reparenting their inner child while trying to parent their kids. What reparenting looks like is giving yourself the needs, or checking in with some of those needs that you didn't realize that you didn't get as a child, and it's coming out in the way that you're parenting. A lot of us are healing some of those childhood wounds. And you don't realize that you're triggered until you're having to give the child some of the things that you were triggered by. Some of those examples may be, let's just say you always wanted a hug. Your parents or the people who raised you never really gave you that type of attention. So now everything that you are trying to give your child, they can either accept it or reject it. And it may trigger some of those childhood wounds. All right. Some of our parents are emotionally unavailable, or you may have grown up with emotionally unavailable caregivers. All of that comes out in your parenting. So I'm going to write it on here so we can go through what the path may look like. Now we're going to go through this one a little differently. So a lot of our parenting styles, or a lot of your parenting skills, come from how you were raised. So let's just say you experienced childhood wounds. I'm going to put just a happy childhood, because some of us don't know what some of our wounds are until you are triggered. Why am I putting happy wounds? Okay. So let's just say you had a happy childhood. Then you had kids. Then you realize, hey, my child is or isn't accepting the ways that I'm trying to parent them. So it's building up resistance, and it's leading back to some of your childhood experiences, because you're trying to mirror or reimagine the childhood that you had recreated, which also is the same thing or similar to you trying to relive your childhood through your kids. Sometimes it ain't gonna work. While also, again, reparenting that inner child, because you're trying to give that child of yours all of the love that you had or did not have, which all goes back to that. Now, this is the path, but again, as we're talking about the path, just understand, depending on where you are, your path is going to look differently. So you don't have all the answers. None of us have all the answers when it comes to telling people what they should and should not do when it comes to any areas of their life. That was just another example. Now, the main one that I'm going to get to now is, again, one that's heavily related to the reason why I wanted to talk about the path. Because I had a conversation over the weekend, and in the midst of my conversation, the lady I was speaking with made it appear as if her journey, her path, was the only path to righteousness, or the only path to God or source. So I'm going to put that in here. All right. So again, we have this misconception that it's a straight line to reach this level of awareness, this level of enlightenment, this level of source. Now, using the example, let's just say that this is the beach. Let me do the beach first. Let's just say this is from California, this road. This road may be from DC. This road is from, I'm gonna put Alabama because that's where I'm from. This road is from Florida. This road is, let's just say Texas. We're gonna put Denver in there. Let's put, we're gonna put Canada. Let's put New York. And let's put, let me just put Charlotte. Now, all of these different places that you're starting from all lead to the same place that we're going, right? We all headed to the beach. How are you gonna tell me that it's only one way to get to the beach because that's the route that you chose to take? Why is it that if I'm choosing to go to the beach from Florida, and even if it's a shorter drive or a shorter distance to the beach, and yours was a longer journey, why are we comparing the two? You don't know what I experienced on my route from Florida on my way to the beach, just like I don't know what you experienced from your route to Cali on your way to the beach, because that's your journey, that's your path, that's your business. Now, all of us are coming from different locations, but again, we're all headed to the same destination. So again, if I decided to drive, that's my business. That's my path, that's my journey. Now, if you decided to fly because you saw that it would take a shorter distance because you were coming from a further place, that's also your business. Now, if this person decided, hey, I'm gonna take the train, what do I look like judging them or telling them, oh, you should not have taken the train to get to the beach, when I don't know what their circumstances are that required them to get on that train in the first place? All right, now again, stay with me. Everybody's going to the same place. How we get there, what our journeys look like, what our paths look like, they're messy. They're all different. We all hit different stages, but we're all headed to the same place. All right? Now again, I just want to lay this out for people who may feel like their path is the only path, or who feels like their answers are the only true answers. Again, there is no straight line or step by step. I'm gonna just number it. There is no step by step guidebook on how to get to this place of God or source. Now, the path to God or source may look like religion, it may look like spirituality, it may look like the church. And yes, all of these are different things, but they're yet all the same because it's all headed to the same place, right? Or on the path to the same place. So stay with me. It can also look like crystals. It can also look like the Bible. It can look like prayer. It can look like yoga. It can look like meditation. We're going to just use these for now. Now, again, several different ways that you can reach this place or this space, right? This is not the only way. This is not the only way. That's not the only way. This is not the only way. Neither is this. But we're all going to the same place or reaching out for that same source. Now, it is in my belief that it is our definitions and what we choose to call things that tend to separate us. And you see the space in between, which is the separation. But we're all talking about the same thing. Okay? Now, because your path may be this, which may be Christianity, baptism, Islamic, all of the different religions, is so many of them. Does that make this one less of a journey or path? And just because this is your journey of spirituality does not make this one less of a journey or a path. Because yes, in the midst of all of these, there are ups and downs in life in which you have highs and lows that all connect you to the exact same source. Now, why am I speaking about this? Again, because some people tend to believe that there is only one way to get to the same source or destination. All of these journeys have highs and lows. And none of these journeys were meant to be the absolute way and the only truth. Now, with these categories right here are tools. Tools meaning if you tune into your Bible, if you read the Bible, you can probably take scripture and see how scripture applies to your life and ask yourself, what would Jesus do when it comes to how you can make decisions, how your faith needs to be strong, how you need to be rooted and grounded in a power higher than yourself, and take that and apply it to your life. Crystals, a tool. How can I use these things to help me stay grounded and connected? Because everything is not going to work when you may need it. That's why it's so many different ways to get to the same path. And everybody's journey, again, is different. So how you get to your journey, if the place that you are seeking or the space that you're seeking or the source that you're wanting to connect to is God, it's all us talking about the same source. All right? Same thing here. That's the way that you connect to your source. This is a practice or a way that you connect to your source. This is a way that you stay grounded and connected to your source. This can be a way that you stay grounded and connected to your source. Grounded and connected to your source. Again, all different journeys. Some may be combined. Still, all different ways to get to the same source. How dare I only read my Bible and tell you that your prayer isn't valid and it's not going to connect you to the same source when we're both connected all to the same source? How dare I, as being a spiritual being, tell you if you're a religious being, that you are not connected to said source, when we're all connected to the same source. How dare a person that only uses this tell a person that chooses to just pray that they are not connected to the same source? Again, the purpose and the point of this entire live is to let you all see that no matter what your journey is in life, it's all about your path. And everybody's path is going to look differently. So in the midst of you discovering your path or being on your journey to whatever place you're headed or whatever connectedness you're needing to receive, just understand the journey is personal, but just know there are, many different ways to get connected to the same source. So if we strip the titles, if we stop labeling everything, if we stop saying what is right, what is wrong, and just truly looked at everything for what everything is, you'll understand that everything truly is everything. And there are many different journeys, many different paths that will take you to the same place. Whether that's your parenting, whether that's your path of self-discovery, whether that's a happy and fulfilling relationship, whether that's God or your source. There are many different ways that you can get there. So stop judging the person that's deciding to take the train because you had funds to take a flight. And stop judging the person that's choosing to walk because that's the only way they know how to get there if your source of transportation was the bus. The journey is personal. It's truly individualized. And it's supposed to be. Because yes, no one is exactly the same, but yet we're all the same. And we're all on this journey and this path to the same thing. I appreciate you all for tuning in. If this resonated with you in any way, please tune in. Let me know your feedback. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions for me, if your thoughts are against anything that I'm saying, I'm open for the conversation. Leave it. If you don't want to post it here, you can always DM me, as these conversations are the conversations that are being held at the house. Because I am talking about things, and we are talking about things that people don't like to talk about, but we need to. Because it is, in my understanding, as I've studied and evaluated and also just taken inventory of the world, it's the titles that keep us separated. But if you stop asking and stop talking about the labels, you'll understand that we are all the same. And we are all trying to figure this thing out. And sometimes we are leaving information on the table because there's so much judgment placed around what needs to be, what doesn't need to be, whose path is the most righteous, whose path is right, whose path is wrong. But if we have the conversations truthfully and openly, we'll understand. Once you stop talking about all of the different titles, you'll understand we're all connected to one source. Tune in with me. And I truly hope when I am offering, or honestly my intentions when I am providing my offerings, such as the things that I'm teaching, I'm truly just trying to show everyone there are many ways to get to the same thing. And sometimes we're not aware that there are other options and tools to help you when you're needing to stay grounded in whatever your truth is. Because prayer doesn't always feel like it's working. And everybody's not always in that state. The Bible may not always be the most helpful tool. It's a helpful tool, but honestly speaking, it may not always work when you're needing it to work for you. So instead of trying to seek all of these outside things, we find ways to tune in to ourselves and just use the tools around you to get to that place. Again, thank you for tuning in. I'm about to check in with myself before our community group, but if you are wanting to join the community group, we are live in 15 minutes. I'm adding the Zoom link here. You're more than welcome to join. Come with an open mind and come with any questions that you may have. But until next Monday, thank you all for tuning in.